Hey guys, so as you all know, I've been doing a pick a card for you guys today on my Facebook channel. So if you are Facebook page. So if you would like to join that and you are watching this directly through YouTube, if you go into the links below in my description boxes, you will find the link to my Facebook channel. So do come over and see me. So I gave you 3 piles to choose from. I'm just going to put these down just to give anybody the chance to pick a pile if they've not already done so and are watching this video without realizing I've done this. So here we go. I'm just going to pop this down for you now, guys. So we've got pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. Please do make sure that you you have an intention as to who you want to see or have a reading about, or what you want to know within yourself. Obviously, don't do this unless you actually know or have an intention for it, because it's not going to work out, basically. You know, sometimes when I do a pick a read, sometimes people do it for the sake of doing it, and actually then they don't get the reading that they were expecting. That can be one, or they're not really due a reading at that time. If you're not in a relationship and you're asking about something that's to do with a relationship, for an example, then you're not going to get the answers that you need because you're not in a relationship. So you've got to make sure that your intentions and what you're saying is very clear when you're asking which card should I pick, and make sure you go with the one that you are intentionally drawn to. The other thing to remember is when I put 8 or 9 cards out, if you pick 2, 3, 4, and 6, you're going to get a very jumbled message. So you're better off, like I always put, choose one card, get a direct answer. Yeah? Now, I've not looked at any of these, so I'm just going to put them to one side. Not looked at any of these, so we are reading blind. So let's see what we get from these cards. Wow. So if you picked pile number 1, this is your reading, guys. So the first card we get through is the emotional freedom. The second is feeling alone. There's a feeling of children involved in this situation, and it says only time will tell. So for some of you, this seriously is just about, and literally just about, a relationship that's probably come to a close, or is coming to an end. Somewhere where you're feeling very stuck, feeling very alone, feeling very pushed out of a situation at the moment. This could also be to do with family members as well. So you could be feeling like you're pushed out in a family scenario too. So take that on board as well. There's this feeling here of you needing to find that emotional freedom, that emotional stability. It's about you feeling not very grounded in the situation that you're finding yourself in at the moment. And it's about you wanting to go out and find that new stability for yourself. Whether that be, go out and find it within what you've got, or whether that be go out and find it within something new. That is totally down to you. You'll know how that resonates with you. This is about you finding your own space, your own grounding, your own, I want to say your own authority over your life and your feelings at this time. So very much, there's a real feeling of winter. So I do feel like these emotions may go on just a little while now through this winter period, because there is this feeling on here of this winter months. Maybe that's going to draw your emotions up as well, and your feelings about the relationship you're in at this time, because this is about you getting that grip on your own emotions and you having that freedom to diversify within them feelings. The next card we've got, which is the feeling alone card, is about you looking in on things. You looking in on things with a proper perspective, not looking in on things and thinking, they're leaving me out, this is what I could be doing, this is where I could be going. It's about you looking in and actually focusing it on, what am I seeing in this situation that is real? Because for some of you, I do feel that you're not looking in on situations in a very clear way. You're looking at it just from your perspective. You're looking at things, like people are leaving me out. People are rejecting me. People would rather be on their own with somebody else. Say it's a scenario where a family's split up and the woman's at the on the sidelines on a weekend and the dad's got the child. It's about looking at it on a clearer perspective. It's about you understanding that children, for an example, need to see that parent. They need to love that parent. They need the freedom You know, we've got the freedom card here. They need that freedom to be able to have that time with that person. And it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It just means that they love the both of you. Yeah, so it's not about you feeling lonely. It's about you seeing the emotions that are going on for everybody in that scenario, in that situation. It could also be, when I'm saying about this emotional freedom, this could also be about you getting that, you know, that getting that clarity on the life you want when it comes to your relationships. You know, maybe you're the one that ends up being emotionally too interlocked into a situation. It could be that you always feel like you're the one that gets left out in the cold when it comes to certain relationships. It also, as well, here with the children card, it's about you finding that balance between your children and you and your emotional sensibility. I want to say, I don't even know if that's a word, but it's about you being sensible when it comes to your emotions, about you having that, you know, being able to cross over them emotions from how you're feeling and how your children are feeling, or about how you're feeling and how your family's feeling in this certain situation. If you're wanting to know whether things are going to come clear for you, whether things are going to come back together, the answer to that one is that only time will tell. So this, and I saw the picture of the heart on the back here. A lot of this is about you finding your own emotional stability. It's not about you going out and finding stability from somebody else at this time. It's about you finding it within yourself. So whether you've split up with someone, whether you're on your own at this time, you know, and wanting somebody to come in, you need to learn your own emotions. You need to learn to be grounded as a person on your own. You could be in a relationship and still need to find these things. You know, it's very important that we love ourselves first, and that we don't feel like, you know, I need somebody to make me not feel lonely. I need someone to sit with me and watch telly with me. I feel like that house, you know, like everybody in that house is all happy and loved up, and I'm the only person that's not feeling that. It's about you learning about them feelings and about them expectations that you're putting onto things. And also the expectations that you're putting onto your children as well. So for some of you, this is about, you know, partnerships that have broken up and there are children involved. It's about them feeling the love from both parties. It's about them feeling that oneness, you know, and not feeling guilty about going to dad's or going to mum's, because that happens a lot, doesn't it, where children, you know, they feel bad going to the other partner's house, because the ex-partner's house, because it makes mum feel bad, or it makes dad feel bad, or they feel lonely, or they're worried about the fact that you're at home and you've got no one with you. So that's something to bear in mind there. But I do think that it's mainly about you getting to grips with your own emotions within a relationship, or not being in a relationship, and you managing to plough forward and feeling quite unalone in your own space, I guess, about you feeling solid and grounded enough in yourself to then go into a relationship and feel whole. Because if you don't feel whole before you go into a relationship isn't going to make you feel whole, yeah, in yourself. So it's about that emotional freedom. It's about that, you know, emotional freedom in a relationship as well. If you're feeling like the kids are taking over, your husband's taking over, your wife's taking over, and you're the only one that's holding everything together, it's about you getting that emotional freedom and that emotional space for you to be able to deal with what's going on, and asking them to give you that space. So that is what card pile number 1 is all about today, guys. So I hope that's been good for you. Now we're going on to pile number 2, which is this one, which we seem to get quite a few cards, I think, for this one. We have, oh, nice cards. Wow, pile number 2. So let's see, we get the forgiveness card here as the first card that comes out, and then we get the commitment to go with that. So the commitment there is going to come to when you find that forgiveness in yourself. And when I say that, it's not, it doesn't feel too much like it's forgiving a person per se. It feels like it's time for you to forgive yourself. So it's about forgiving yourself in things, in past relationships where things have gone wrong. Maybe you're holding, you know, a lot of emotions about that, where you went wrong. Maybe you feel like you could have done things better. Maybe you could have moved things forward better. It's about you forgiving yourself for anything that went on in them past relationships. It's about you forgiving yourself within a past relationships, and it's also about you forgiving other people in past relationships, because sometimes we get like anchored and stuck in a situation. And I'm not saying you're with this person that you need to forgive. It's probably that you're not with this person that you need to forgive, or the fact that you need to forgive yourself for the person that you're, you know, like say you were married or whatever, or you had children and you left, and you feel, you know, solely responsible for that, for leaving the marital home, for leaving the children behind, for breaking up a family. So for an example, that would be something that you would need to forgive yourself about. Or maybe somebody left you and now you need to forgive them. This is so you can move on, because I do feel for you guys, there is a new beginning in love. There's an opportunity. There's an offering coming in for you guys that's quite prominent to you. It's there, and it's either energetically there, or you've just started something and you're finding it very difficult to commit to that relationship because of the old and the past that's there for you. So guys, this is the swans. The two swans come together in a committed relationship and they spend the rest of their lives together. Now, I'm not saying that this person is your Mr. Forever or your Mrs. Forever. What I'm saying to you is there's an issue here on pile 2 where there's commitment. There's an issue of commitment, and that becomes from forgiving. Whether it be forgiving the person in front of you, or the person that was behind you, or the scenarios that were behind you in the past. Also, it can be about forgiving your parents, forgiving, you know, anybody that could have had an influence on how you move forward in love. But I would say that there is, you know, this feeling of you not being able to commit to somebody at this time. This one here is all about you learning to rely on somebody else, which is also about commitment, isn't it? These two people here are leaning on each other. Their feet are together. They're suspended on each other. They are, you know, totally committed and trusting that each other will hold them up. You have this scenario either in your life or trying to get into your life at the moment. It's about you going through these arches that are here. Yeah, it's about you taking that step forward. It's about you trusting in what's going on and trusting in the universe. For me, you have this religious factors, which means that this scenario is either about you learning spiritually how to grow, to move forward. It can also indicate that this is a very spiritual and thought out and pre-planned relationship to bring in that healing and that love for you, to help you to forgive other people and yourself. You know, the angels are trying to bring you this scenario in to help you to move forward. It's time for you to forgive yourself, guys. I can't say it enough. It's time for you to, you know, have that self-belief that you can commit. It feels a little bit like in the past you've struggled to commit, or you've ended up committing and it hasn't worked out, and that's causing you some old wounds and some old issues. Yeah, and what they're trying to do now is bring in this new love for you, bring in this relationship, or a relationship that's already obviously ongoing, but they're trying to bring in this commitment for you to show you that you can commit and that you can move forward in a relationship. So it does say here, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, though there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. So this is where I get the past thing from as well. It says you may not understand why certain things happen. Yeah, however, there is always a higher purpose for why things happened. Everything that we do in our life is a sequence of lessons to get us to the stage we're at this moment in time. So every lesson brings you prepared for the next thing, the next adventure you're going to go into. This is preparing you now to forgive the past and move on. Yeah, clear the past and move on. It says through turmoil. So through any lessons that you have learned, this is about you moving on into the blessings and letting the blessings come through for you. It's time for a new beginning. It's time for a new start. So it says a new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. So there's this new beginning coming here with this commitment, with this love. Are you going to choose to take it? This is a message for you. It says, I am thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. So there is somebody that is saying this to you on an energetic field, so more, you know, in the 5D. And what's happening is they're saying to you, you know, all the time, the message to you is, you know, I am thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light and I love you. So this is this new person here energetically saying to you, you know, when you're ready, I'm going to help you with forgiveness. I'm going to help you with commitment, and I'm going to help you move forward. Yeah, into a better, newer beginning, into a newer relationship, a spiritual relationship, a relationship where you can both grow together, where you can both wear your crowns and have the life that you are ready to fulfill and to have. Okay, so that is for pile number 2. Put that to one side. And now we'll go into pile number 3. I'm just checking the time. Right. Pile number 3. What have we got? Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Now then. This is all about balance and getting that new connection. Yeah. So, for some of you guys, you will probably have been in a relationship that has come to an end, or there has been a significant relationship that's completely knocked you off balance. I do feel like it's literally made you worry about connection. So whether you're going into a new connection or whether there's no new connections coming in, whether you're in, you know, you're in a stable connection, whatever it is, it's about you finding that balance of learning to be within a new connection. Now, you're not going to be able to do that properly. You're not going to be able to settle in this new connection or this connection you're in at the moment, because you've got things that you need to let go of. You've things from the past, i.e. ex-partners, mainly. It can also be, you know, patterns and behaviors from childhood that are coming through. For a lot of you, this will be ex-partners. It could be somebody that's hanging around that needs to get out of your energy field. It could be, you know, bonds that are in your energy field, you know, ties that you don't even realize are still there. It could be an ex-partner that's got your, you know, your children or whatever. You could have been married to this person. And like I say, it could also, this one is about dealing with old haunts, surrendering things that are from the past. So any behaviours, you know, your parents may have split up when you were younger and you saw that behaviour and that pattern. What led up to that? And maybe you're actually following the same sequences. It's about you learning to release old patterns, learning to release old behaviours, any codependent behaviours that you may have, that you may bring into a new connection, because you are going to take them into a new connection if you don't learn to release or to disconnect from certain things and certain people. I also want to say certain people. If you are single and on your own, it's like if you're trying to get in a connection and a connection's not coming forward for you, it feels like there's a block on communication there. And that's due to Spirit putting that block on you because you're needing to deal with things internally. You're needing to get the balance between your heart and your mind, your heart and your emotions, your heart and your soul, your heart and your higher consciousness. Yeah, there's so many things that are just rooting, you know, that are just rooted down. You know, it's like your root chakra's out. It's like you're not balanced. It's like the fight and fly. It's like you get into a relationship and then you jump straight out because, you know, all these things come back up at you. So you're not going to be able to move on to another connection if you can't get your heart and your soul in a very balanced situation. So you need to be healing. You need to be looking at the things that happened in past connections. So that's any kind of connection you've had that's got you to the stage that you are at now. For you to get that balance in a relationship, for things to be able to, excuse me, let me just get a drink. I've been doing this for nearly half an hour now. for you to be able to get that proper connection. So for a lot of you on this in this reading, you are in a situation where you're struggling to get into a good connection. You're struggling to manifest a good connection. We do have two little hearts here, and one says, when it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. So sometimes, you know, you may have made in the past big mistakes on who you've chosen as a connection, yeah, and you're focusing in on that instead of focusing on the balance and the new and bringing in a new different kind of connection. So manifest in a different sort of connection. Don't sit worrying about, you know, well, I probably manifested this person in and then they've gone and done this to me and it was probably my fault and I should have done this and I shouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean? That's what this one's about. It's about, chucking it all over. It's about, when it comes to the matters of the heart, there is no right and wrong. What you did or what happened or your conditioning as you've grown up or whatever this scenario is, you was meant to have it to learn the lesson, to get yourself better connections, yeah? So release it, let it go and move forward. Which brings me on to the next card, which is the surrender card. This is how we're going to finish this reading. It says, at times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. So it's about you letting go of the old, guys. Even if you're in a relationship, if that relationship isn't balanced, if you don't feel like you've got a good connection with that person, it's because you have your own blocks. Your own blocks, old patterns, old behaviours, anything that doesn't serve you anymore. It needs to go so that you can energetically move forward in a very balanced and stable state. Okay, so that is the message for number 3. I do hope that these have been good for you guys. Please do put a thumbs up, or please do pop back onto Facebook and leave me a comment, or leave me a comment under the YouTube, under this YouTube video, just to give me a little bit of feedback. Do bear in mind that not every reading can be for absolutely everyone. And if you haven't set your intentions properly, sometimes we can be drawn to the wrong pile. So just do bear that in mind. Like I say, I can't read for everybody in the world, but I do hope that this has helped you. Do take out anything, it could just be that one part of a card or one part of a message that I gave you is significant to you. It doesn't have to be the whole message. And also it can be for friends, family, love relationship, anything to do with your emotions. Take that on board. So thank you guys. Thanks for being patient. I will timestamp, which it'll be too late to tell you this, but I will timestamp in the bottom and I will write that on where each pile is. So take care guys, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.